decorating can be devilishly hard work, particularly if you have a small space to deal with. But with some careful planning, the results can be heavenly. I'm Kimberley Seldon, and I'd like to share some principles of small space design with you. It's typical for the average entranceway or foyer to be small, but before you start decorating, you want to think about whether or not you want to play up that small, intimate feel by making everything dark, or exaggerate the freshness by making everything white. So we've gone for pure white here, largely because we have a window with lots of natural light that really makes white come alive. The architecture is beautiful. You can see the staircase cascading behind me. One thing people are afraid to do is put furniture against railings or half walls. Don't be afraid of that. We've added the dark lacquer table here, and the shine again plays off the light. A nice low lamp and even a hint of color with an accent. In the niche over here, I added a long banquette. The temptation when you have a small space is to go for little bitty furniture and squeeze more in. Better to choose one large piece and make your space a triumph of style over size. Not every design project begins with a clean slate. Often clients have one or two pieces of furniture they need to repurpose. These cabinets are a case in point. We also inherited the sofa, which is beautiful. I love the charcoal color. It's really in vogue right now. The size is ideal for this living room. Now, the coffee table is new. It's ultra low, super modern. I love the fact that it gets visual clutter out of your eye line. It also exaggerates the height of the ceiling when you have low pieces of furniture. The fireplace screen is lovely because it allows the eye to travel right through to the fireplace. I love that big glass screen, very sexy. Now in general, the color palette started with a sofa, so we've got some lovely grays, including a soft gray on the walls. I've also opted for the charcoal on the window treatment in the Roman blinds. It contrasts beautifully with the white crisp molding. Now if the moldings weren't very nice or they were too small, I would have opted for white draperies there so they didn't really show off that area, but I love the contrast. We've also got a really lovely piece of furniture over there, the white leather sling-back chair. And we opted for just a splash of orange as our accent color. There's one room in the house where a smaller space can actually work to your advantage. That's the dining room. And that's because you want this to be an intimate space. You want people to be gathered closely together so you can have a convivial conversation, if you will. Now, what we did to emphasize that is we painted the walls this dark charcoal color. So nothing shy and retiring like beige. We've gone for high drama. Chose large-scale artwork. This was the client, so we repurposed this. I love the chandelier. This came with the house, so we decided to keep this for sure. A full wall of mirror helps open up the space. At night, it's lovely with candlelight, but by daytime, we're capturing some light from the stairwell. And the large sculptured angel wings really have dramatic impact. Now, I hate feature walls. I loathe them, but this one time I made an exception. That's because our dining room had 3 walls. Its 4th wall was way out here in the hallway. And I decided by painting this a charcoal gray, it allowed us to anchor this bar that's floating out in the hallway as part of the dining room. So we've got glass and chrome, a very sexy Art Deco bar, and our sunburst mirror. If the goal in your small space is to make it feel as large as possible, then the principle you absolutely have to think about is contrast. You want to keep a minimal amount of contrast in the space in order to allow the eye to rove uninterrupted throughout the room. So here you can see we have pale gray walls and of course beautiful molding, so we've highlighted that in a nice crisp white. A little bit of contrast, not too strong. The table again has the white finish, so we're tying it all together. When you're accessorizing in a small space, the tendency is to choose items that are small, but in fact, larger items like the big vases you see in the corner have dramatic impact and take your mind off the fact that you're in a small space. Another principle that's really effective is the principle of negative space. So positive space refers to any surface that's solid, like the top of this table. Negative space refers to any surface that's open. So when you look underneath the table, you see that we have legs with a very narrow profile. They're mirrored, so we're bouncing light around the room. And then these chairs, although they're a solid material, are completely see-through, so that gives another illusion of negative space. This Louis chair is a great choice in a modern setting. So if you have a space with a great view, you can take advantage of that view and bring it inside by toning your draperies to match your wall colors. So let's say you have a white room and bright red drapes. Your eye's never going to get a load of the view because it's going to be stopped by the red drapes. Here we've got a lovely soft cream drapery that's blending softly into the walls, and that allows the eye to travel outside to the view. I love to design powder rooms. They're like little jewelry boxes. Here, I knew I wanted to do white, but had to avoid the dreaded clinical look. You do that by adding some subtle pattern, like you see here in the sheer, as well as texture. Look at this wallpaper. It's a wonderful tone-on-tone. This silver pattern plays off against the nice white. That gives dimension and interest to the room, which otherwise is quite plain. The mirror as well has got some pattern and texture to it. And you can see all together the space feels like it just goes on and on. I love this room.